My name is Wendell Hrishka. I'm the Executive Director at Project Return. Thank you for attending the 42nd Annual Celebrate the Return. I can think of no better way to begin an event than to honor a person who has helped so many attain so much. This year, we honor Clem Richardson as our Don Bein Service Award. You can feel Clem getting red right now. When I told Clem about our decision to honor him this year, he got emotional. He got emotional because he's not in it for the accolades. He's not in it to hear how great he is. He's in it because he believes that the individuals that he's working with are coming back and can be successful just like he was with his reentry. Clem makes this world a better place. Now I could talk for the rest of this program with all the great things in the 19 years since I've met Clem. But I think that it's important to hear from other people as well. So I'd like to invite LT Austin and Cleon Suggs to come up and share their experiences and to present this award to him as well.
Okay. Thank you. It's an honor to represent and tell my little story about Clem Richardson. He's a man of integrity, honest individual that has worked so hard. Man, I met him 26 years ago, and he wasn't nothing nice then. Okay. And he has worked diligently at his profession, and he's good at it. And also, he climbed up another ladder. He's a pastor. That says something about the God we serve. He's still a miracle worker. And Clem Richardson is a miracle. I have went up and down with him because he was hard-headed. Yeah, he was, yeah. He told me to tell the truth about him, so, but he caught on. He caught on and expanded his education, expanded his craft. I'm proud of him myself. That's a shining star to me that I had a part in helping him climb that ladder. I appreciate him and I honor his effort from the heart. Thank you all.
My name is LT Austin, and I know Pastor Clem, or Brother Clem, from a different way of life. He was an inspiration for me. Me and Clem, we kind of grew up together. We was involved in street life. We was involved in gangs. We was actually rival gang members. We fought oftentimes against each other. Then, as we got older, we were in some other dark things where we got to know each other. But then, in the late 90s, I saw Pastor Clem had changed his life. And that inspired me because I was trapped in the street world, in the street life, and it was hard to get out, and I thought I was destined to die that way. But when I saw him come out, then it gave me hope. And so when I found out about what this award was, the Dunbar Award, it was told to me that it was about someone being an inspiration. It was about someone volunteering and truly giving from their heart to help people re-enter or transition. And that's kind of what it was for me. My transition didn't happen right away. When in the 90s, when I saw him and he showed me that there was a way out, then it gave me hope. And so I continued to fight. And then when I finally found my way out, then I wanted to find Pastor Clem. When I finally made my mind to come out, I found Pastor Clem, and I just started following the breadcrumbs he left. I found out what school he went to. I went to right there. I went to MATC right after that. Then I found out he went to Upper Iowa. I went to Upper Iowa. Found out he worked for WCS. I went to work for WCS. So I followed those footsteps because my mama always told me if it's something you want to do, find somebody doing it and doing it well, and then follow those steps. So I did it. He didn't know. So he didn't know I was following him like that. But once I got on my feet, then I came and told him, and I let him know, and I told him how grateful I was. So he's been an inspiration for me. And even when I was trying to get out in those times when he would see me, he would never judge me. He would always come and we'd go have coffee, and he'd constantly tell me that I was better than this, that I could do so much better. But at the end of the day, after he dropped me back off, it was like we embraced, and I went on. I never felt judged. I always felt human. And so in that way, I'm honored to say to Pastor Clem, thank you. Thank you for allowing God to use you in such a mighty way. And I pray your continued success.
So it is long overdue, but my honor to present the Don Bein Outstanding Service Award to Clem Richardson.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Wendell and the board and the entire staff at Project Return. Dr. Ed, come on, let's give it up for him. Thanks, my friend LT, my brother, and my mentor, Cleon. He used to be my counselor. When I was in the program. That was a powerful introductory. To my beautiful wife, Barbara, can you wave your hand? She pushes me to be the best that I can be. And I thank God for my children and grandchildren who's at home and not here. But anyway, I thank everyone for their support and encouragement. Most of all, too, I want to thank my church family, Kingdom Empowered Ministries. Come on, KM in the house. KM in the house, amen. Amen. That's Brother John right there, y'all, amen. So, thank you for being here to, help me continue to serve in the community. And all my other friends and co-workers, thank you and thank you. I'm going to just give a little bit on you of who I am and where I come from so you can better understand the reason why I love doing what I'm doing, okay? Is that all right? I just got a few minutes. So, I have a associate degree in theology. Don't panic, I'm not going to preach. Because most pastors, we long-winded. Yes, we are. I have a bachelor's degree in human services, a minor in social work. I have a master's degree in mental health professional counselor, and I'm currently enrolled in a PhD program for clinical supervisor and leadership in education as a counselor. God has been good to me. But this is not how my story began. I was raised in the 53206 zip code, which has been deemed the worst places in the country to live for African-American men. Surely nothing was good supposed to turn out for me in that area, in that environment, as myself. So I grew up seeing a lot of violence, a lot of poverty, pimps, violence, hanging out with killers in neighborhoods. So by the time I was 13 years old, I started selling marijuana. I was associated with gangs at 13 to 14 years old. I started selling cocaine by the time I was 15 years old. I lost friends to gun violence. My sister committed suicide at 19 years old. That went downhill rapidly for me after seeing that and we finding her body in the house. A childhood friend of mine told me that he has his cousins coming here from Compton, California. So when they came up here, I said, "What is this?" And they said, "This is Ready Rock." I said, "What's Ready Rock?" They said they call it crack cocaine. So we started selling the crack cocaine in the city of Milwaukee. By this time, my addiction and trauma was out of control. By the time that I was in and out of jails, out of the house correction, so on and so forth, outpatient treatment programs through WCS, going to NA meetings and stuff like that. They kicked me out because I was coming in under the influence of drugs and alcohol. I finally was accepted in a program in 1996, and I did a 90-day inpatient program with my counselor right here, Cleon Suggs. Amen. Today, I now have 26 years of freedom and recovery. 26 years. So now what me and Brother LT do and some of those other brothers out here, B-Mac and all that. Matter of fact, let's say hello to my brothers from Joshua Glover. Stand up right here. Stand up, Joshua Glover, brother. These brothers are on their way out too. Y'all may be seated. So now I'm giving back, working to inspire others to see that they can change and make a difference. It doesn't matter which zip code you come from, because my zip code does not define who I am as a man. I want to share, I only got 2 minutes left, so I want to share this with you. I want to share this with you real briefly. It's called the 5 P's, right? The 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance, right? The first P is put God first. In everything you do, you put God first. Everything I have and everything I've been through is nothing but by God's grace that I'm standing here today. His grace, you hear me? Number 2, preparation. Preparation, fail big. Why do I say that? Do what you're passionate about. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Come on now, turn your pain into your passion and turn your passion into your future. That's how you deal with that. In other words, there's no failure in falling. The only failure is what? Not getting back up. Number 3, prevents. What does that mean? You will never see a Lee & Son trailer. Well, let me break it down. You will never see a U-Haul trailer behind a hearse. It's not what you have, but what you do with it. You have to be selfless. You wanted to be able to help and serve others, right? This is exactly what Jesus did, right? This is exactly what Clem did. He helped serve me. This is what Pastor Joe did with Project Return. He helped serve others, returning back to him incarceration. Pastor Joe, wave your hand, sir. One of my another mentor. I got so many mentors in here. Wendell, too, as well. So we get out of self and we think more about serving others. How can you benefit other people? That's been a selfless act, right? Number 4, poor. My mentor, Jerry Alexander, said, people will not change until they had a significant emotional event, right? And he comes from the black bottom Detroit, Michigan. And he says here, you got to have, anybody have some, I have made some poor decisions in my life. I made some impulsive decisions in my life. Sometimes some bad decisions turn into good stories. I didn't always stick with God, but God always stuck with me. The last P stands for performance. Don't be afraid to dream big. Don't be afraid to speak big. Because dreams without goals is a nightmare. So in closing, pull others up. If I could say to my mentees out here, pull others up. Don't just aspire to make a living, inspire to make a difference in other people's lives. Thank you.